Can Michelle Obama save the Democrat Party? Find out in my weekly podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm the J.R. Stewart. Welcome to my weekly political podcast. And this is where I sum up for the week the political stories that caught my attention and I comment on them. And so the big one that I'm going to answer, but I'm going to save it for the end, is whether Michelle Obama can save the Democrat Party. So before I answer that question, let's look at some other things that are happening in the news that caught my attention. It looks like our girl, DA Fani Willis, is in a little bit of trouble. Now, I understand that these are alleged affairs that she's having with special prosecutor that she hired. I believe his name is Nathan Wade. Nothing has really come out, but she hasn't denied it yet. I think she's smart enough to know not to make public statements that she cannot support when she's subpoenaed, put under oath, that she could lose her law license if she's caught lying. So she's going to be very careful about what she says. Eventually, she's going to have to make a statement. She's, I believe, the judge overseeing the RICO case that she's handling is going to call for her to testify. And I believe she's been subpoenaed in another lawsuit, a civil lawsuit, divorce lawsuit, maybe two lawsuits. You know, I think one of the people that she's trying is alleged misconduct by her in her office, and then the wife of the Nathan Wade, I believe, has subpoenaed her also to testify in their divorce hearing. So at some point, Miss Fani Willis is going to have to testify under oath, raise her hand up, and do the whole "I swear to tell the truth" thing. And if she's caught lying, she could be disbarred and lose her law license. So she better tread carefully. Let me see what else is in the news. Governor Sununu is, of course, going all out to help Nikki Haley in New Hampshire defeat Donald Trump. Although I think he realizes and everyone else realizes that the nomination is Trump. So these people who are hanging on to some hope, I believe they're just hoping either he slips or falls, which hasn't happened yet. He's only getting stronger as a candidate. Or that somehow the courts, Jim Crow Joe Biden, comes through with his weaponized DOJ to somehow prosecute Donald Trump and find some way to keep him off the ballot. In which case, of course, they will be there. Nikki Haley, maybe Ron DeSantis, will be there to pick up the pieces. Tim Scott endorses Donald Trump. Well, smart move. He was running against Donald Trump. I'm surprised it's taking this long to, because normally, when they drop out of a race, they normally go ahead and pick a candidate to support. But maybe I guess he wanted to wait and see if Donald Trump is going to actually pull this out or not. So, but Tim Scott is endorsed Donald Trump. The Secretary of State in Maine, she took Donald Trump off the ballot because she said he was ineligible because he participated in an uprising against the United States, violated the 14th Amendment. So I believe a court there, the federal judge, had put him back on the ballot, and she's appealing that. So she should just give it up. There's no justification for any of these court cases that are going to stand. I mean, one by one they're falling. Even the one that did not fall in Colorado is being appealed and it's going to be overruled. And she's going to be overruled here in Maine also. So these people just keep trying. But what they're doing is they're opening the door. So when Trump is elected, 47, his attorney general is going to round these people up. He's going to file election interference charges against all of them. And you better have some deep pockets to defend yourself against the federal government who's going to come after you. And it may take years, and nothing may happen, come out of this. You may be found innocent, or charges dropped, or the courts say you can't do it. But this is going to take some years for that to happen, and you're going to need deep legal pockets until then to fight off the federal government. And so these people will feel what it feels like to be in Trump's shoes. And this has to happen. I'm telling you, this absolutely has to happen, because if it doesn't, Democrats will do this again to Vivek Ramaswamy when he runs in the future, or Nikki Haley, or Ron DeSantis, whatever Republican decides to run in the future. If you don't stop them now and punish them for what they're doing, they're going to do this again to one of those in the future, to one of those candidates in the future. Trust me, I'm always right on this, 99.95% of the time. I believe that's my running average. There's no surprise that the Attorney General, speaking of the Department of Justice, that Merrick Garland is urging Jack Smith to find a way to get Trump a speedy trial. Isn't that something? You've had all these years that you could have prosecuted the man. Now you wait till election year, election interference, to want to prosecute the man. And now you're fighting like hell to get him into court or to have a speedy date. Last time I checked, the right of a speedy trial was for the defendant to request, not necessarily for the government. The right of a speedy trial is not for the government. It's not we're ready to go. Okay, and it's not about you. It's about the defendant. Defendants have a right to a speedy trial, so they're not sitting and languishing in jail year after year after year waiting on a trial date. So that just shows you how ass backwards these Democrats and Biden administration is. Okay, I think that covers most of the news comments. Oh, I did have one about Israel. I know Jim Crow Joe Biden is urging Israel to somehow back off the war, retreat a little bit, slow down in killing their enemies and retaliating. Well, I'm here to say that V.J.R. Stewart is supporting Israel. They have a right to defend themselves. They were attacked. They were trying to exist and coexist peacefully. They've been doing that for about 15, 16 years until October 7th, 2023. And we know what happened, so I don't have to do a recap on the war, but Israel has every right to defend themselves, every right to attack those who've attacked them. And it's not we only killed 1,400 of your people, and now you've killed 20,000 of ours. It's not a tit for tat like that. You should have, when you got to 1,500, you should have stopped. Nope, it doesn't work that way. You attack us, we're going to and this is what I've always said. Until one side disables the ability of the other side to wage war, you will continue to have war there. One side has to win outright. I wish that Israel would just annex the West Bank and Gaza Strip, kick out all of the people who don't want to be citizens of Israel, of the new Israel, and then continue to exist after that. Make it a police matter, not a military matter. So I think that is pretty much all the news I have. So let's get to the final story. The question that I posed in the beginning, whether Michelle Obama can save the Democratic Party. So let's play a news footage, and then on the backside of this news footage, I'm going to answer the question.
We've heard this drumbeat for a while. It's getting louder. Plans are to grab Michelle for the Democratic presidency choice. Making the music is Barack, the orchestra leader. Obama's quietly angling for Joe to go. Is it quiet? He's weaseled up to this for a few weeks. A Joe flop out offers probability that Michelle could wiggle in. Obama's negotiating to make that happen. Pay attention, she writes, to them gurgling and burbling about the election, about concern over Joe's crappy polling, about bad Trump, About everything but bad Leroy Brown, Obamas are not into casual statements.
Okay, people. Black people have been the most monolithic voting bloc in America, especially black women. And if you lose the black vote, this is part of the reason the border has to be open. Democrats have to replace these votes that they're losing. The woke crowd, the non-binary folks, and these non-gender folks, these folks are not having babies. So they're slowly losing population to conservatives who are having babies. You know, conservatives are not trying to put abortion clinics in on every corner like Democrats are. And so because they're losing population, California's already, I believe, lost some congressional seat or two because they've lost population. Well, those votes have to be made up. They have to replace them. And black people are not regenerating themselves fast enough because that's where most of the abortion clinics are. So they have to open the border up, bring in millions and millions of new voters to repopulate and their rolls, and they'll find a way. And silly Republicans will somehow work with them to get a voter registration card in the hands of all these people that are here illegally. But when you start losing Democrat supporters, black support, Latino support, I think across the board, Jim Crow Joe Biden is messing this up. So they are to overstep Kamala Harris, which I'm going to tell you folks, even though the Obamas are ideologues, they're not black politicians, they're Democrat politicians. They're Democrats first. They're Democrats before they're black, they're Democrats before they're American. They bleed Democrat. So they really are the donkey party, donkeys themselves. And they bleed it true and through. And so if they're tossing her name out there, really what they're doing is testing the waters to see if maybe she can bring back. People are thinking maybe there's a chance that she's going to run. She's not going to run. She doesn't want to be a politician. Her husband may want her to run again, but I don't think she really wanted to be in Washington, D.C., as my wife put it. So for that reason, I do not think that she's going to run. I think this is an attempt to save the Democrat Party, bring black people who are leaving the party, Democrat Party. And it's not necessarily they're coming to the Republican Party. What they're doing is they're coming to Trump, and his personality is what's attracting them. And the fact that when Trump was in office before, they now realize he's the only president that ever did anything for black people, using his political capital in the first 3 years to address issues like economic investment, HBCU funding, and sentencing guideline reforms. Both those guidelines did nothing about him while he was in the Senate other than vote for him. Did nothing about it while he was vice president, him and Barack, the first black president. But you couldn't tell because there's not one thing he did for black people while he was in there for 8 years. And then even now, as president for 3 years, you know, he when he campaigned, he said, well, maybe I made a mistake with those guidelines. But Jim Crow Joe, you've been in office for 3 years now. This is your last year, and you still haven't addressed the mistake, which tells me that it's not a mistake for you. Okay, my producer is waving that we actually have one more footage and that I forgot something, and that is my opinion about the Dallas Cowboys, my beloved Dallas Cowboys. You know, I'm a fan, although, boy, my fan level love for the Cowboys has been, you know, dissipating, been going down every year. I've been so disappointed with my Cowboys. So anyway, let's play this last footage. It's just a little clip of Jerry Jones, I believe, and then on the backside I'm going to give you my opinion, and then that will wrap up the show. Let's go.
Jones releasing the following statement: there is accountability for our results. I am accountable for our results.
Okay, people, it is time for Jim to go. I'm sick and tired. It's obvious that I got into a discussion with one of my cousins over Thanksgiving or Christmas. And he said, Jerry Jones doesn't really want to win a championship. And I said, no, he's getting old. He claims he wants to win another championship before he dies. He says that. But the truth is that now I'm starting to see that my cousin, who's having to be named Jimmy, was correct. Jerry does not want to win another championship. Jerry's not going to do what it takes, which is bring in a coach and build a team for the playoffs. You don't build a team for the regular season. We've won enough NFC East divisions. We won the regular season titles. We've done that. Did it, done it, been there. We've been to the circus. We've seen the puppet show. We know all the strings are, like the bar from Jerry Maguire. The people in Dallas now want a championship. We haven't been there since 1925, 28 years ago. It took us the first 26 years to win 5 championships. 5. 14 NFC conference championships. Or at least we've been there 14 times. We've won them a total of 9 times. So we're 5-4 in the Super Bowl. But at least we've been to the Super Bowl 9 times in the first 26 years. Since 1995, in the last 28 years, we haven't been anywhere. Watching playoff games and Super Bowls at home. So that's been our legacy. That's been Jerry Jones' legacy. And Jerry, if you're not going to do the things it takes to win a championship, then you know what? Sell the team. Put the people of Dallas out of their misery. Sell the damn team to somebody who's willing to take it to the next level. You've done a great job in turning into an $8 to $10 billion franchise. So you've been great for Dallas, the team, and for the NFL in that respect. But you've been a lousy owner and general manager. So, people, that is my weekly recap. I do it every Friday, somewhere around this time, between 8 and 10 o'clock Central Time. I'm not going to nail myself down on the time, but I hope you enjoyed my recap. Please come back next week and support my effort. If you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel so you get updated whenever I post new shows, new shorts, and also I'm involved in a project to produce more Black history content for YouTube. So please support my effort. I want to thank everyone who's been supporting that, giving me the likes and the views to make those videos more popular as we march. So and I appreciate everyone's love that y'all have been showing me. So thank you so much, everyone. And until next week, I'm the J.R. Stewart, and this has been my political